will be sad, but it will be too late to cry.
Jamaica has a tropical climate, which means the temperature stays much the same throughout the year, about 30 degrees centigrade. That's hot. There are 2 rainy seasons, in May and September. In those months, there are often heavy rainstorms, lasting minutes or hours. Rivers can rise quickly and break their banks, causing floods. High winds often come with the rain, particularly in the mountain areas. Jamaica lies in the path of the northeast trade winds, which bring rain from the sea. The north coast is wetter because the winds have to climb over the central mountains and drop their moisture as rainfall. The south side of the island gets much less rain. August and September, as well as being a rainy season, are the months when hurricanes are most likely to strike. Jamaica has suffered violent hurricanes, but one of the worst was Hurricane Gilbert in 1988.
Coming from that side, went and it hit.
Marshall was 6 when the hurricane struck his house at 10 o'clock in the morning.
We just heard a sound. Boom! Off was the roof and it went over there. I was crying and praying that the rain would stop or the hurricane would stop. When we looked down in the valley, all roofs were off, except for one house that the morning I had to go down there and spend the night because our house was in such a bad state that I could no longer sleep there. We had to sleep in the kitchen.
As well as damaging property, the hurricane destroyed trees and crops, wiping out whole plantations of bananas and coffee. The vegetation still hasn't recovered. Why does Jamaica get hurricanes? Marshall and 2 friends went to ask the television weatherman.
Why do we have hurricanes in Jamaica?
Because hurricanes, we are in the path of the hurricanes. They form over the Atlantic, off the coast of Africa, move across the Atlantic and into the Caribbean. We are right in this zone. This is the track that they usually take. And in the case of Gilbert, this Gilbert formed in the Caribbean and it moved right across Jamaica. Many people lost their roofs and their homes because of Hurricane Gilbert. The winds at time were in excess of 180 miles per hour. You know what that is. Very, very strong and powerful winds that just blew everything away.
Fortunately, hurricanes like Gilbert only occur once every few years. Rachel, Kim and Michelle live in Kingston and they've planned the weekend by the sea on the north coast of the island.
To Kingston, we go up the mountains all the way up into the section.
They're going to take the road over the Blue Mountains and they want to see how the weather changes from one side to the other.
Come all the way and then they come to Port Antonio.
Their destination is Port Antonio. Just outside Kingston, the children find cacti. These plants grow here where there is little rain. The Blue Mountains act like a barrier and shut the rain out. For an hour they climb the steep road out of Kingston. After 25 kilometers, they're over 1,000 meters up. Already it's 10 degrees centigrade cooler than down in the city. It's the middle of the afternoon and clouds have built up around the mountains. They continue on again towards the summit and see where heavy rain has broken up the road and caused landslides. The highest point of the road is that section, 1,200 meters up. Here they find coffee. It's Blue Mountain coffee, the best quality in Jamaica, and earns a lot of money for the country. Each red berry contains 2 coffee beans.
What are the best conditions for the coffee?
Mixed sun and rain.
The rain and the sun, like the rain and the sun.
Could you describe how it is in Blue Mountain?
Well, it's the weather change a lot up here. We got sometime for the day it's got 3 different weather, 4 different type of weather. Sun, then cloud, cool condition, and then rain, you know. Rain mostly in the afternoon. And it's cool a lot at night, you know. Very cold at night.
Much of the Blue Mountains are covered in thick forest. The trees add to the rainfall by releasing moisture into the air. Many trees are being felled to make way for more coffee plantations. The farmers could leave some of the trees standing to provide shade for the coffee, but instead they clear the whole area. Kim and Rachel went to look at an area of coffee planting with an environmentalist, Sybil Rendell.
Why are you concerned about the forest up here?
Well, we're concerned about the forest up here for 2 reasons. Because the forest affects our weather, the rainfall that we get, and it also affects soil erosion. You know what soil erosion is?
No.
When soil is removed from where it is and taken away by streams down into the rivers and into the ocean. And that's a bad thing.
Why are there less trees?
Why are there less trees? Partly because people have been cutting them down. You yourself remarked on the bare patches, didn't you? People have been cutting the trees down because they want to use the land.
How has this affected the weather?
How has this affected the weather? There has been less rainfall, and something that we have never experienced before. We've been having prolonged droughts, and our rivers have been drying up and not bringing as much water as they used to.
From section, the road drops steeply to about 150 meters above sea level.
Alright, don't be afraid of the hand. Keep your hand right underneath. Right?
Mr. Mackenzie has cattle and hens. He spent 20 years in England, living in Birmingham, where he was a builder.
Alright, you find another one.
Miss Mackenzie, what is the weather like here?
Well, it's very nice. We get enough rain just to keep the grass green for the cows, and if you notice, everything around is green. You notice, we don't have any grass dries up or anything, because we get the weather just right.
Does the weather affect what you do?
It doesn't really affect me, because when it's raining, you can still go on the farm, you know, and pick up the eggs. We can still go and look for the animals, so the weather doesn't affect us in any way.
As the children go down the mountain, so it begins to get hotter and the vegetation changes.
Oh, what are those other trees? Oh, they're more bananas. More and more bananas.
Now they're just above sea level. The road follows the coast to Port Antonio, but first the children want to visit Berrydale and cross Jamaica's widest river, the Rio Grande. Anyone coming to and from Berrydale has to cross by raft. This district has one of the heaviest rainfalls in the Blue Mountains, almost 1,000 millimeters a year. The children meet a banana grower, Mr. King, who takes them up to his plantation.
You generally cut the banana under the bunch, under, not on top. If you cut it on top, it tear and everything fall to the ground and broke. But look what I'm going to do now. It's standing just the same, right? Yeah. It's standing. It's coming. Right? Cut all these. Hold the bunch by the stalk.
Each tree only bears one bunch of bananas, then a new shoot has to be planted.
Now here's a bunch of banana.
These are still green. Can we eat them?
No, not at the moment. These are for boiling.
What sort of weather do you need to grow bananas?
Well, you can grow banana in any weather. Any weather. You can plant when it's hot or when it's raining.
Why is it so humid here?
Because of the weather. Now, take for instance today. It's a very warm day, right? We might have some rain tonight. If we have a little rain tonight, tomorrow, the heat from today coming up back from the ground.
The heat here makes the children feel sticky and sweaty, and it's tiring just to walk.
You plant there. Ooh.
At Port Antonio, it's slightly cooler because of the sea breeze that comes inland.
Is the weather different by the sea?
Yes, it is different by the sea because of the winds. You get this wind daily, and so the moisture is taken away to the higher regions, and then they get the rainfall there. So we would get less rainfall along the sea, but more as it gets inland.
One of Mr. Williams' main crops is coconuts.
It's a most interesting occurrence. The rain falls, the roots of the plant take up the water, goes right up the trunk, and goes into this.
Coconut.
Yeah. So this is well filtered, and that is why they say the coconut water is sterile. That means it's pure. They say it is unpolluted, unadulterated, unalcoholic, uncontaminated.
On everything.
Pure, unbelievable. There's meat now. What we had a while ago is the coconut water, not the milk.
Exactly.
The young coconut contains a clear water and a soft white jelly. The hard white meat and the white milk come from the mature coconut.
Richard, why don't you take some piece?
Yeah.
I did.
The children have learned from their journey that the weather changes from region to region. They've come from the dry heat of Kingston to the hot and humid weather of the mountain coast. There's only one part of the journey left to make.